get it right and you go really hard at the digital proposition, it actually comes to the aid of the newspaper. And that's what we're seeing at the moment. There's a lot more energy in our newsroom. There's a lot more drive and purpose, and collaboration is key in today's modern media environment. The silo syndrome, be it print to online, or even reporters and photographers siloing their effort, are gone. There is a higher quality of journalism that comes through collaboration, and quite frankly, you can't afford to be an isolationist in today's newsroom.
Don't be afraid to be out there and take a risk. Don't be afraid to go out there and do things that you're not sure about. You'll be thrown a lot of times within journalism into situations that you're uncomfortable with, you're not sure about, you're not an expert in, there's people you don't know how to deal with sometimes, or even situations within the office where someone asks you to do, a new role that maybe you're not sure about, feeling a bit uncomfortable. My view always is go for it. Absolutely go for it. Take a risk, give it a chance, make mistakes, but you'll learn a hell of a lot by doing that, by pushing yourself constantly to try and learn more, do different things, take on new challenges.
On the other side of it is how you generate video content out of not vast anymore, but the large pool of highly skilled, highly experienced subject specialist journalists that exist in any large newsroom. And that can be a challenge for the individuals because they're not used to working in a video space. It's a whole other kind of language that they have to learn and a different skill set. They've got to be much more confident in putting themselves, they're much more exposed personally in that they're actually on camera and all of their flaws and their little personal indiscretions about how they stand and how they breathe and so forth are really obvious, and that's a challenge. Also, the grammar of telling the story is different. You don't tell it in the same way in a video story that you would tell it in a text story. The whole structure of the thing is different. They've got to get their heads around that as well.
I tend to commission through the topic editors because they're the people who know their team the best and they know what they are the most skilled at doing. They've also got the time, sometimes, to be able to liaise with, the video team, with the photographic team. Because I think that we need all of the experts we have engaged in the process to be able to tell the story in the best way. And often, in fact, when that topic editor goes to the reporter has an idea about how to tell that story across platform. What we're finding is the new culture that this has involved has actually happened very quickly. Like the cultural change within the staff who are on that news floor at the Sydney Morning Herald has been so fabulous to see, because everybody is very, very keen to get involved in every type of journalism that we're doing.
I do think journalism has a very positive future. I do think that the sort of onset of digital technology probably destabilised journalism for a time. I think it saw some organisations struggle to make the change, and it saw some organisations wobble a bit in terms of what it was that they were about. But that's probably now past, and the task for credible media organisations is to stick to journalism and to do journalism properly.
We're all about getting the news first, and in this age it's digital first, so if something happens straight away we get it up online. We kick ourselves big time if we don't get it up first. We want to do it first and do it best, so it's demanding from the beginning of the day right through to stumps.
The journalist's Swiss Army knife is the smartphone. It's, everyone has one these days. The key thing is thinking with your smartphone in a way. It's, you actually, when you're gathering a story, you actually want to think about, which parts do I get in video or audio, which part do I just get stills, and so on. That is the one tool that I think everybody should have. Not because it does all the jobs technically, there are clear technical limitations, but because you can carry it in your back pocket, because it's not an add-on, it's simply part of everybody's everyday life, really, these days. If you integrate it into your news gathering in terms of filing and video, then it makes you think about those things. And that's what I've been trying to get at all along, which is that you actually need to just think video, you know, and that will help you do that. That's the one key tool.
I know that young journalists now are probably constantly getting told, you know, by cynical old journalists that don't go into journalism, there's no jobs, it's too hard, it's a dying industry, but that's utter bullshit. You know, it is the best job in the world. You get to go into people's houses and ask them questions that probably their best friends wouldn't ask them. You have this veneer of responsibility, and it is a responsible job and you have to treat it responsibly, but it's a great job and it has changed a lot. You need so many more skills than you used to. You know, it's not enough to go and say to an editor, I'm good at writing, I was really good at English at school. You know, you need so many other skills. You need to be able to put stories online. You need to be able to use DCDS. You still need shorthand. You need to be able to be on video as well as write a story. You have to be such a multifaceted person, but the essence of what you need is storytelling. You need to be able to tell a story in a lot of forms, but if you can also keep pace with the way journalism is changing every day, then you'll get a job.
Let's face it, we're doing it for the audience and we have the audience. And if a journalist can see where that is, then I'm not going to have to do anything to teach them to get there. If there's somebody who can't see that and is caught in the past and the traditions of old, look, I'm not going to waste my time. If I'm wasting my time trying to drag them kicking and screaming to where I need them to be, that's time I'm not innovating and that's time I'm not spending with the journalists who want to be there. I think probably 2 or 3 years ago I would have tried harder to bring them along. Now I'm like, you know, this is where the audience is. It's quite obvious now. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see it. If you want to be a part of it, great, there's a place for you. If you don't, then that's fine too. Go somewhere else.
For young people, there has never been a greater time to be connected to ideas. In the history of existence, there has never been an easier access to ideas. There's never been an easier way to communicate with people about ideas, to iterate, to collaborate. And technology is doing that. So technology is driving how we do journalism. Technology is driving how we work with ideas beyond journalism, and technology is the key to having the flexibility to do that. But it's not about technology, it's about ideas. So, at a time when the pace of newsrooms has been influenced by needing to feed the insatiable maw, M-A-W, of the beast 24/7, the trick for editors and the trick for young people coming into the profession is how to find and create space to actually talk about and think about ideas, as well as covering the bases that you actually have to cover as a news organisation every day. How do you allocate those resources, and we have fewer of them, and how do you create the space for people to come up with ideas? That, to me, is the alchemy of contemporary journalism.